Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at my new Instant Pot Pro Crisp and air fryer. This is my second air fryer. Now, I've had an Instant Pot for a little over 2 years. And mainly when I use my Instant Pots, it's pressure cooking a large roast or a whole chicken just to have some shredded meat. I use that shredded meat to make meals, and also I meal prep. The other feature that I use is the slow cooker feature, along with in hand the Sauté mode. Makes wonderful meals. The Instant Pot pretty much replaced my Crock Pot. So I didn't really need a second Instant Pot because I needed a new one. I actually needed a second one because I'm gonna be using it for my food service. So I'm gonna be having 2 Instant Pots in rotation, working, making food, and making some money for me. But I seen that this one had the air fryer feature. So I was like, you know what? I can make some pretty cool recipes using the Instant Pot, the pressure cooking mode, and then maybe air fry it to crisp it up. So let's dive into everything that you get with your new Instant Pot along with the new features. So one of the differences from my old Instant Pot is this little switch here. This is to seal it. If you're gonna be doing any pressure cooking, instead of having that little toggle that just moves back and forth, you actually have a switch. And actually this feels a lot more secure than the other one, because there was times where if you didn't put it all the way, it would go back to venting. So this right here, it actually, you hear it click and you know that it's either venting or sealed. This little section is your vent. The one before was actually connected to where you would seal it. As you can see, they're separated. But this one actually has a little plastic compartment that goes over the vent, so when you actually release the pressure, it disperses it through inside and actually allows you to release the vent and, you know, get out of the way. This will prevent you from burning. I've never personally been burned with my Instant Pot, but I've heard instances where, you know, people commented that they burnt their fingers. Now, one thing I do like about this Instant Pot 8 quart is it actually has the little handles. The other one I have is an 8 quart also, but it doesn't have these handles on the little pot. That is really convenient because now I don't have to worry about grabbing a rag or something to pull this out, especially when it's hot. Let's talk about the pot. It's an 8 quart. I had an 8 quart previously, and I know for a fact that I can cook at least 8 pounds of meat in this 8 quart. Now, I haven't actually tested to see how much meat I can actually fill this up with, but I do know that I have cooked 8 pounds of meat pressure cooked in this 8 quart. Now let's go over our air fryer lid. As it sounds, it's just a lid that goes over your Instant Pot, and it has an air fryer motor. Now, I was actually looking at getting the lid that just goes over the previous model of the Instant Pot, but then you'd have to have a cord into that and all that stuff. So I was just like, you know what, I'll wait. And I seen this and I was like, you know what, I'll get it. And as simple as it sounds, all you do is just place it right on top. It has its specific way that it actually sits on the Instant Pot, because there's actually a little piece where it connects the Instant Pot to the air fryer lid. Now, the air fryer lid actually comes with a little attachment. It comes with 2 purposes. You can, one, place your air fryer lid on top of it when it's hot after using it, and it acts as the bottom of the air fryer lid for storage. One of the changes I really like is this new interface. This interface is completely different than the old model. The old model, all you had was just a tiny little window, and it just either read on or it had a timer of the cooking time. This one I like much better because, say like if I were to be pressure cooking, now I could pick my time. Let's see, let's just go back to 2 hours. And then we'll hit this little knob, pick if we're going to do high or low pressure cooking, hit that, and then hit start. Now, what I like about it is actually telling you the stage of where you're at in the preheating. So of course it has to preheat, then it pressure cooks, and throughout that whole time it actually shows you that. Before, all you would see is just on, and you don't know if it's gonna take 15 minutes to, you know, come up to temperature and pressure cook, or 30 minutes, which sometimes it actually does take 30 minutes to pressurize, depending on how much food you have in the Instant Pot. So you have different modes. You have pressure cook, saute, which is normal, slow cook, steam, and a new one on this one is actually sous vide. If you know what sous vide is, basically it's a water bath, and it allows you to cook the food to a precise temperature. And then on this side, we have the air fryer functions. You have the air fry, roast, bake, broil, and dehydrate. Now for the saute feature. On my old Instant Pot, it only went up to 30 minutes and I would have to keep renewing that time. On this one, it can go up higher. Let's see what the max is. Oh, 1 hour. But if you're using the saute feature, you don't need more than an hour. So that's actually a plus, because say like if you are sauteing multiple things and you need more than 30 minutes and then you're gonna just pressure cook or slow cook everything, it's good to have that little extra time. But one thing, okay, so it goes up to an hour, and then we can also go to our temperature, high and low, and then if you want, there's custom. There's different levels. Now say like you don't need completely high temperature, so let's go to the custom. You can actually change that from 1 being, I guess, all the way the lowest, all the way up to 5, and then round robin, or 6 actually, and then it round robins. 1 all the way up to 6. So say like 6 being the max, but you don't need that really high heat. You could go back to a 5 or a 4. And then once you have the setting that you want for it, the time and the setting that you want for it, you just hit start. It'll preheat just like we were showing earlier with the pressure cooking. It'll preheat, then it'll actually show cooking. For the slow cook feature, that's pretty much the same. You have high heat or low heat, and just depending on what time you want to set it to. Usually low heat, I would probably go in the range of 6 to 8 hours, depending on what it is. High heat, anywhere between 2.5 to 4 hours, depending on what you're cooking. Now for steam, it's just a one standard feature. You just select your time up to, I believe, 30 minutes is all you can steam up to, and you just press start and it steams your food. Now when it comes to sous vide, like I said, is a water bath. You set it to a temperature that you want your food cooked. And usually you can leave it in there for about an hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours if you'd like. That's really up to you. But yeah, you can pick the perfect doneness. Say you want to cook a steak to 135 degrees. Now, if you're actually going to be pan searing it, I will go a little bit lower, like about 125 degrees, because pan searing it, you are going to cook it just a tad bit and you can actually overcook it. So say like you're doing steaks and you want to get a medium rare, and the temperature you're looking for is actually 135 internally on a medium rare steak. We'll set the timer for this at, let's just say like 2 hours. Let this cook for 2 hours at 125 degrees. Pull it, give it a nice pan sear, about 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and then you get a perfectly medium rare steak. So the sous vide feature is actually pretty cool. You know, you got the pot already, just, you know, put your food in there with the bags and let it do its thing. I'm definitely gonna be using this feature so I can show you guys. So let's go over some of the accessories that your Instant Pot does come with. Now we have a multi-function rack. Now what this is for, you can use this is to elevate the food from the bottom, so that way you can prevent the liquid from touching the food. And it also extends to where it can stand up. If it would clip right, there we go, just like that. So say if you had something that's not so big and it doesn't touch the top of the Instant Pot, you could put this on the bottom, let all that fat and juices just render. Or you can also put it like this. Say like you want to put a chicken on top. Now when I actually cook like whole chickens, they fall apart when I pressure cook them. So having something like this to be able to pull it out is really helpful. Now this portion can be used for the air fry or the steam feature, or dehydrate also. We have a little rack that the air fryer basket sits in, so that way it stays elevated from the bottom of the Instant Pot. All right, so here's the air fryer basket. I'm not too excited about this air fryer basket. Even though I have a family of 5, doesn't mean that this air fryer basket won't meet your needs. And actually I am going to do a test cook just so you can see how the air fryer works. And this little sheet here, which is you can use for dehydrating or steaming, this actually goes inside the pot just like that. You can actually get 2 layers of food in there. But my concern is if you're using the air fryer, this thing is going to be super hot, and how you take this out is by getting it like this. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be using that a whole lot. But you can do 2 layers of cooking, but you're going to have to just be really careful on getting this out. I guess get a thin little pair of tongs or some tweezers and just pull it out as you need to. and then get your food out from there. Now for the Instant Pot and its air fryer features, I am not going to be using it as an air fryer per se, because I have the Ninja Foodi Oven XL Pro. This actually works really, really good. I actually held off on investing in the oven style air fryers because I seen the technology changing, and my last air fryer my last two were actually really good, but the only thing that I did not like was that it was too small. This right here, I can actually cook some protein, at least 6 pieces of protein, because I have 5 in my family, and I like to have one extra for work so I could take for lunch. And then I have an extra layer where I can cook something else, roasted vegetables, fries, you name it. Whatever you're cooking, you got 2 layers of cooking right here. So I won't be using this Instant Pot for the air fryer feature. Now what I will be using it for, there is some recipes that I'm interested in using this air fryer lid. Say for example, pulled pork. You want to get a nice crispy exterior on the pork roast, and then you can, you know, braise it or pressure cook it to break down the meat and make, you know, get shredded meat out of that way. Carnitas is another thing. I don't know, I'm gonna just have to play with it and see what ideas I come up with on making recipes using this Instant Pot. Now I have already used my Instant Pot, so I know that it pressurizes and it seals good. But for you to check your Instant Pot, what you want to do is you want to take 3 cups of water, place your lid on the Instant Pot, and you want to make sure that you set it to seal. Now we're going to set our Instant Pot to pressure cook. We're going to change this to 3 minutes. Now this is one thing I don't like, because you can actually just hold the button on the old one and it would go in 10-minute increments. Yeah, you have to just keep this. So yeah, this is a pet peeve right here. All right, so now that we have 3 minutes, high pressure, we'll start. Now you know that your Instant Pot will pressurize and cook for you. Now let's go ahead and turn off our Instant Pot. So now that we got our test in, now we're gonna be releasing the pressure. Now in my recipes that I show you guys, I usually try to do a natural release. What a natural release is where I turn it off and I let it sit for about 20 to 30 minutes. And the reason why I do that, one, is because most of the time I have it full of food, and if I put like a big roast in there, it renders a lot of fat, and plus whatever liquid I put in there. So when I hit this vent open, it's gonna just shoot out a bunch of liquid, and it's happened to me before. So yeah, just keep in mind, there is liquid in here sometimes, and it gets, you know, really messy. So I only have 3 cups of water, and since we have this new little feature right here that is covering the vent, I'm gonna go ahead and just like that. Before I would just spit out a whole bunch of liquid, and actually having this, I do like that. So I am definitely liking the new features that this Instant Pot has. So when you're done pressurizing and all the pressure's out of it, this little pin right here goes down. That's the only way that you can open the door. If there's pressure and that pin is up, you will not be able to open up the lid. But this new feature right here with covering the vent, I really, really like that, because before it used to spit out a lot of liquid, and that's actually, it can burn you because it is hot liquid. Now to test out our air fryer features. So get our air fryer basket, place it into our Instant Pot. When I test out air fryers, my go-to is chicken wings. I've been cooking chicken wings in the air fryer for over 2.5 years. I cook them at 380 degrees for 24 minutes. Now, depending on the air fryer, they do cook faster in some instances, you know, especially smaller air fryers. So you should probably get it about 20 to 24 minutes. But if it takes any longer than 24 minutes, then we got some issues with the air fryer. That's how I honestly feel, because I've used many different air fryers over the past few years. And you know, usually a good time is about 20 to 24 minutes. Now for these wings, all I did was season them up with Uncle Steve's Gator Shake. This is a really good seasoning, great on seafood, perfect on chicken, but you could actually put this on pretty much anything and it'll taste good. I'll leave all his information in the link below. Now you want to use some spray oil and oil up the bottom. I don't have any, but I guarantee you after today, I will have some in my pantry, so that way for my next video. So all I'm gonna do is just lather up the bottom with a little bit of cooking oil, so that way nothing sticks. Now let's get our chicken in our air fryer. Now take our air fryer lid and attach it to the top of the Instant Pot. You'll get a little noise indicating that the lid is connected to the Instant Pot. Now we're gonna select air fry. We're gonna raise that to 24 minutes. As you, again, my pet peeve with this dial right here. And we're gonna go ahead and select 380 degrees. And we're gonna hit start. You have a preheat feature, which I completely forgot about that, but doesn't take long to preheat, so we'll just let it go through its cycle and then get to cooking. So it actually took about 2 to 3 minutes to actually preheat. So it's actually indicating to add the food, which we already got the food in there, so let me just reset it. And then redo it. This is my first time using the air fryer feature. I used the pressure cooking the other day. But yeah, so you're gonna put it on, let it preheat, and then add in your food. All right, so we got an indicator to turn our food. We're gonna go ahead and rotate them. They are looking good. Yes, they are. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn them, place our lid back on the Instant Pot, and let it finish for the remainder of its time. Now that our timer is close to end and our chickens are almost done, I have to say, this air fryer is not loud at all. Compared to some air fryers, like this air fryer lid is really, really quiet, and it's not even hot, which is pretty cool. The airs that are coming out here smelling yummy. Uncle Steve's shake. That Gator shake is a winner right there. It's zesty. I'm just waiting for this thing to hurry up, man. I want to eat. There we go. All right, now that it's done, go ahead and take this off. Woo, you can hear that crackling. Now, chicken cooks to 165 degrees, but wings are a little forgiving. Yeah, these are all temping above 200 degrees. But wings, they actually do have a lot of fat content in there, and you can overcook them just a little bit more than to 165 degrees. As you can see, 210 degrees. But I guarantee you these are gonna be some awesome wings. But you can actually go down a little bit on the time. That is just my basic formula to see how an air fryer is gonna do. So since it is a lot smaller, I would probably use that feature probably about 20 minutes for chicken wings. Well, this only being my first cook, I don't see a whole lot of splatter on here, so it looks like it'll be easy cleanup. But I could see actually having more food in there and actually splatting more. I think it could be a lot dirtier, but so far so good. Now, since this being a tub, this is gonna be a lot easy on cleanup compared to other air fryers. All we're gonna be doing is filling this up with hot soapy water and let that soap just do its magic. Now that the wings aren't piping hot, let's go ahead and try this out. Uncle Steve's Gator Shake is some really good stuff. Fully cooked, did a really good job. You definitely can go probably 18 to 20 minutes if you're gonna do wings in here. But do keep in mind, the more you fill this up, you gotta rotate often, and you probably might need to cook a little bit longer. But overall, the Instant Pot Pro Crisp is pretty solid. I would like to say thank you to my channel members. That's them right there. That's why you see every video. These are the people that support the channel. And I wanna say thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you wanna be a part of the Fat Pants crew, go ahead and hit that join button. There's a couple options on there, and you get some member perks along with it. Well guys, that's the rundown on the Instant Pot Pro Crisp Air Fryer. I got a couple ideas coming in the works using this thing. But like I said, mostly what I'm gonna be using this for is the pressure cooking and the slow cooking feature. But you can definitely utilize this air fryer lid to whip up some pretty unique dishes. Guys, if you guys are looking to get one of these Instant Pots with the air fryer lid, I'll leave the link down in the video description. And if you're new to my channel, consider hitting the subscribe button. That way you can see future videos just like this. Trust me, I'm gonna be putting out some awesome recipes using this thing. I think pressure cooking or slow cooking and then crisping it up in the end, I think we're gonna be able to come up with some good recipes. Now y'all be beautiful and take care.